Hello, everyone. My name is Donovan from Salted Streets. It has been a while since you have seen us live anyway, about a month. And so I figured that I would come on here and just give you guys a little bit of update. I feel like maybe if anything, I owed you guys just kind of an explanation about what was going on. Everything is fine. Everything is totally okay. We have some stuff. I have some stuff going on in the background. I am deep in the throes of trying to figure out exactly what it is that I have going on. Part of the reason that we haven't done an episode is because I don't have a whole lot to say. I don't have very many answers for you guys as far as what's going on. So I just wanted to make a small video, as long as it's going to be, I guess. A video. I shouldn't say small because I don't know yet. To just kind of explain what I can. We've been doing this show for, it's going on 6 years now, and I have pretty much enjoyed every moment of it. I've written and we've spoken on the show several times about the moments that Colin and I have each had along this path of, having to redouble down about our passions and make sure that, this is really what we want. And then to, like I said, double down and buckle down and make sure that we're hitting it hard and we want to recommit and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And that's been a good thing. That's very, very good that we've been doing that. And that's obviously helped us stay on this pathway and help us stay committed to the show and to each other. And, we've had multiple conversations over the last month or so in that same vein. Colin is from neither of us is there any question about whether or not we want to do this show. Colin is very, very supportive of what I have going on, and he is just that. It's just supportive. It's very much a personal thing that's going on, but as the kind of creative and managerial leader of the show, a lot of the stuff, what we do, is dictated by where I'm at, what I want to do, kind of my head state or my mental state and things like that. So that can be, that can explain the semi-chaotic nature of the show sometimes, the changes that happen out of nowhere, the shifting, the kind of flippancy of it. We're going to do this and then we don't do it. And that's a result of, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing or inherently a bad thing, but that's a result of me being the director in that aspect of the show. So to that end, I've been having a lot of questions of why, personal motivation questions of like, why am I doing this? What do I want from this? Where is this coming from? And I started to kind of write about this last episode before we didn't do it because that's all that I could think about. And I didn't really I don't have it pulled up here to read because a lot of it was kind of political and really based on like where my mindset was of the country. And the more and more I've thought about why I'm upset, why what I have going on, it's moved further and further away from politics. I think the division that I was upset about in that particular writing that I did, which I'll post or I'll read or I'll do something just so you guys can see it, kind of the core of that was political. I think what I was upset about in that was the division aspect of politics. And it was centered around a conversation that I had with my friend Sam when I went out shooting a couple weeks ago, that kind of ended with Sam being like, it doesn't have to be like this. And we were talking about different stuff. We were talking about work and our traditional jobs, like how hard we work and how if we want to try and get more money or do something, have more freedom like that, it comes at the expense of us something from ourselves. We just have to give it more sleep. We have to whatever. That's a very base thing, but that's the core of it. And Sam's like, it doesn't have to be this way. It can be different. It doesn't have to be this way. And for whatever reason, what he said clicked in my head very differently, and it immediately I started to think about the show and the way that things are done here, and I was really, really disturbed and have grown really disturbed in particular with like the content aspect of the show. And I've spoke to a lot of people about that because that's, I think, the one thing that I can point to right now that I'm really disturbed with. And what I mean is taking a 7-hour show, a 7-hour piece of art, because to me that's what this is, right? This is art, and I'm going to touch on that more in a second, and having to pull out individual clips that are 1 minute long, 60 seconds long, 90 seconds long, that I think are going to be the most capturing, that are going to like make this go viral so that people can see us and then we can get big, and that feels very counter to the whole point of why I'm doing this. So we started doing this show. It wasn't and has never been about making a ton of money. If it was, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago because it's only cost me money. We've pulled money out to buy things from the show, but that's just from like Patreon and stuff, and it's nothing compared to the amount of money that we've put into this show so far. We are unquestionably in the hole on this. That's okay. I'm not guilting anybody. This isn't my point. What I'm saying, what I mean is that if I was in this for the money, I would have quit a long time ago. I'm doing this show now, and I think always, because I care and have always cared about people being informed. I know that's for sure. I've always cared about information, and I care about people having a choice. I don't know if that's that's how it was when it started, but that's certainly where we're at now. The very beginning of the show was about base politics, that we just want, we're going to gather all the information from as far left and as far right, and we're going to deliver it to you, the audience, so that you can make up your own mind and just have as objective information as possible. And eventually we kind of realized that no matter what, we're going to be presenting things with a particular bias because of how we're going to be perceiving the information and just how it reads to us. And so we just need to be honest about what our biases are. And that way people can still use that to inform their own opinion, and they can still trust the information because they know at least where we're at. Again, the still the core of that being, we want people to have the information. I want people to be informed. That's always been what it is. It always felt, in the very beginning, it felt wrong to me that it took us 40 plus hours a week of consuming information to find out what the truth was. It's always been about information. And when we started changing a lot during COVID, that's really when the choice thing came into it. That it is demonstrably important to me that people have a choice. Everyone needs to be able to choose what is the right thing for them and for their children, for their health, for their house, for their work, for everything. That needs to be an individual decision. That's not something that I need to be choosing for you. It isn't something that anybody should be coercing you into. That isn't okay. That's not an acceptable way for people to conduct themselves. It's coercion, right? Choice needs to be above everything else. Choice, and along with that, information to make the best decision possible for yourself. Just honest, unbiased information so you can make informed consent and informed decision about whatever you want to do. That's where we're at now. That's what matters to me. At the core of this, that is what really, really matters to me. I want information. I want to know what's going on. I want to be able to make a decision that's best for me, for my family, for my safety, for myself, for my work, for anything that's happening in my life. I want to choose that. I don't want anybody to be forcing me or coercing me into making that decision. And as I've said before in the show, if I want to have that for myself, I have to make sure that everybody has that. We don't live in a world where one person can just have something like that and nobody else. If I want to make sure that I have that I can make that choice and I can have the information, I have to ensure that everybody has that. That is reason enough for me to be activated to this point, to be trying to inform everyone and allow everyone to have that choice. So that's still why I'm doing it. That's still why I'm here. That is still why I put in the work and why we collect the information when we have the discussions, why we come here and we do the show, because that's what's important to me. This show, this podcast, this thing that we're doing is the best expression that I have of these feelings. I don't love doing a podcast. I'm not obsessed with podcasts. This is the particular medium in which people conduct this type of, I don't even want to say business because that immediately moves out of where I am considering this. The context in which I am having this internal discussion, this internal dialogue, has nothing to do with business. It's all about passion and love. And that's why I'm so disturbed with the content aspect, that I'm commodifying my art. I'm commodifying my passion. I'm commodifying the thing that I love. I'm turning it into a product so that it can be sold in the easiest, most accessible way possible. I don't want that. I don't want to be making something that immediately removes all of the passion and all of the special things about this piece of art, because it isn't a product. It's not just a thing I'm trying to sell. I don't want to be a bajillionaire. That isn't the point. I'm not saying I wouldn't love it. Of course, everybody would love to have all of the money in the world, right? That's never been the point. I don't want this show to be big so that I can be super rich and famous. I want this show to be big so that I know that I am doing everything that I can and I'm reaching as many people as possible, so that they understand that choice is important and they understand a certain level of information that's relevant to them and why that's relevant. That's why. It's not because I want people to pay for my lifestyle and because I don't want to have to work anymore, because this is a ton of work, right? I only want that for myself to the extent because I feel like if I could spend all of my time thinking about and putting in the work and doing the labor of trying to ensure that freedom and that liberty and that choice and that information to everybody in the country and everybody on the planet, I can't imagine what I would do with it. Right? It's not because I just want all the money. It's because I genuinely believe that if I devoted all of the time in my life to this, it would change people's lives. And it disturbs me that we're existing in a time and in a culture, a society, or whatever, in which like that isn't enough. You know, that has to be chopped up into a viral clip. And that feels very greedy, you know, because I'm not trying to sound like very self-important and really special, you know, and I know that can be how this comes off, but I'm really trying to, that's why I'm trying to hit home on the selfish aspect that like this is, it's pragmatic, but it is self-serving, right? This is for what I believe is the greater good, but in the end it is so that I can have what I want for myself. I don't think that that's wrong, but to me, in my brain, that honesty, that level of clarity for you, like, helps break up that level of question of why am I doing this? The skepticism around what my motivations is. It's selfish. It is selfish. I want to be free. I want choice. I don't want to be told what to do. I have to give you that if I want that thing. So I'm really disturbed by the content thing of trying to tailor the show in that type of way. I don't want to do that anymore. So I haven't been, we haven't been like cutting clips up lately. I haven't been posting clips lately because I'm disturbed by it. I'm really, really disturbed by it. It's really, really grinding. It's very wearing. It removes the fun and the passion from this. I don't know how to get around that. I don't know how to grow this thing as a piece of art without doing that, because this is the medium that we've chosen, and the things that I'm hearing, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to blah blah blah. That's like supposedly how these things grow. At the same time, there are people like Red Bar that are out there that have been making videos for years and years and years and years and years, and I don't know how big their audience is because you literally can't fucking tell. But he's sustaining himself. He's living off of just this show that he's doing that's happening once a week, maybe once every couple weeks because he's sick, right? I'm not taking shots at him. This is an incredible thing. But my point being, if you are delivering something that people, not even a product, right? Because that's the thing that Red Bar is putting out is more than just a show. There's a community that's involved there. There is a leadership aspect that's involved there. There's an edginess that's involved there that's delivered that you can't find other places. It is It is so unique, it's impossible to find somewhere else. That's what you're being provided there. That experience of that show, because that's the medium, that's the way that he expresses himself is through that show. There has to be another way. It doesn't have to be this way. The way that it's being done now, that has delivered us, that has gotten us to this point in the industry, right? Because at this point, that's what it is, the industry of podcasting, where we're all complaining about the products that we're getting. That maybe half of the shit that we're listening to now is like actually very good and actually original. You know, certainly most of the comedy podcasts that we're listening to, God love them. I love stand-up comedy. I'm fully caught up in the wave of all of the stuff, but I know that we're all irritated when somebody puts a special out and we see the same person on 9 different podcasts in the same week. I know that. I know that we're irritated when we watch a podcast, we listen to a podcast, and 3 or 4 times the host says, "Yeah, man, so what should we talk about?" You know, we've talked about this on Solid Streets before. That's crazy that those famous people are expecting regular hardworking Americans to give them money for nothing, for a product that is subpar compared to an experience that someone else is delivering for a lower cost, for less money. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know what the problems are. I don't know how to get around that, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. I don't know how to deliver this, how to translate this, and do exactly what feels right to me and ride that out. Maybe it's just a level of devotion. I know, like I said, Red Bar, Mike Davis has been doing it for 20 plus years. Like 2003, so 21 years I think he's been doing it. I don't know. I don't know how long he's been self-sustaining. I don't know how long he's paid his own bills. I don't know how long he did other stuff. But he's doing it now. It is possible. It is possible. It doesn't have to be this way. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. Is like what to do with that. You know, the day that I'm recording this, 16th, so yesterday, our SOS ID with Brian came out. I was watching it today. It's very interesting timing because that was 2 months ago that we recorded that episode with Brian. And in the beginning of that episode, I started discussing these same concepts. Like, there's going to be a lot of changes in the show. You know, I'm feeling this, and I really don't like this, and I want to do this. It's been 2 months that I've been beginning to feel this way. And 2 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago now, I guess, when we went to the show, I just couldn't do it. I was like having an anxiety attack before the show. Like, I was like crying because I had been trying to prepare all week, and I just put together just some articles, like local stuff that, you know, I sent it to Colin, and I was talking to him the next morning. I was like, I don't care about this stuff. Like, none of these articles that I've brought to you spark any type of passion or anything at all in me. I don't care about this. The only thing I've been able to think about all week is just this piece of writing that I've done. It's just this thing, and even that, you know, the core of it is like, this isn't working. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't have anything to say. And so why the fuck would I do a live stream for multiple hours where the end result is I don't have anything to say? That feels like a waste of your time, and it feels like a really shitty thing to do to Colin, and I don't want to be doing that to you guys. And same deal from like an artist perspective. I don't want to be putting out a piece of art that I don't like. I don't want to make a video for you guys that I think is shitty and that I go and watch the next day and I think, well, you really sounded like a fucking asshole when you did that. You know, we've done episodes before where I've been in like a bad place because I've been depressed, or if I've been in, you know, one of those lulls with the show. It's been a long time because I'm a better host than that now, but you know, we've done episodes where recording with Colin, he's asking questions. Yeah, I don't know. What's the fucking point anyway, right? Like, it's just not. When the Mueller report came out years and years and years ago, I remember that. That was one of those episodes. Pretty sure I was wearing shorts when I went there. I always dress at least decently, like regular when I go to Colin's house. I don't dress down. I don't wear like sweats or anything. That day I was wearing like sweat shorts. I don't wear the very same shorts that I'm wearing right now. And, you know, we're talking about the Mueller report. It's like, yeah, but none of this matters anyway, right? Like all this and this and this. And that's just a shitty thing to do to him. That's not a good thing to do as his friend or as a co-host, the other person he does this art project with, to conduct yourself like that. That makes it more difficult for him, and that's not fair. And I don't want you guys to. I don't want to give you something like that because I don't feel good about it, and I don't think it would be even fun for you guys to watch. I don't know what to do. I don't know what feels right, but these videos have become one of the ways that I express myself, because I'm able to come here and break down complex ideas and discuss with you guys and discuss with Colin things that are upsetting me, especially now that we're doing the SOS IDs, a really like an objective place where I can come and discuss things and not feel judged. I'm not going to feel like an idiot. No one is going to make me feel dumb. I'm going to be able to work through these ideas and get genuine feedback from you guys, from the audience, as well as the people that are in studio talking to me, whether it's Colin or we have a guest or whatever. And that's really, really valuable. And I don't think these types of conversations are happening enough. And that's another reason why I've always felt so strongly about continuing to do the show and continuing to have the discussions, because they don't take place often enough. And so many of our guests have said that, these discussions are so tough, we don't do it often enough. And it's true. It's very consistent. It's like almost cliche at this point that it's so real. But I think that this is really important. I don't know how else to do it. I don't know what else to do with myself. I know no matter what, even if I stop doing this show, I'm going to continue to want to make stuff. I'm going to want to make art. That's going to turn into videos because I don't make music. I write sometimes, mostly for so I'll end up writing a book anyway, whether I'm doing this show or not. But I think this is important. I feel strongly this is important. And as shitty as this sounds, I hear that from other people and I tend to believe them. They don't have any reason to lie to me. They don't owe me anything. Some of the people I've had these discussions with. So I don't see any reason why they would be being dishonest about it. And the core crew who've continued to show up on the show, Joseph and Kevin and Deborah, Larry, Tiffany, you guys don't owe me anything. The people who are on the Patreon, you don't owe me anything. So I have to believe that you see some value in what's going on, or else you wouldn't be showing up. You wouldn't be coming here and spending 5, 6, 7, 8 hours with us, depending on how long we stream or when you can show up and talking to us, if it didn't matter, if this wasn't something. If we're consistently getting comments like, how is your channel not bigger? How is not this? And I think we still haven't found the exact identity. And I take responsibility for that because I've been leading the show for so long. I've been the spearhead of so much of the stuff that I'm not like putting Colin down, because he's been fucking ride or die the entire time. I'm not shitting on him. I'm taking responsibility for the lack of commercial fiscal success of this show in the particular metrics that other people are measuring success in, and that I agree with, in the industry that it is now. But I think that there's a misalignment. We're missing shit. We're not putting the right things forward. We're not focusing on the right stuff. And I think that's part of the problem is, people can tell when we're not being genuine. And I don't feel like we're bullshitting or anything, but when we're not doing things, we're not. It's like we're characters. We're not lying. We're not being deceptive. We're being honest all the time. That's one of the pillars of the show, is honesty. But, it's like when we've talked about discussing the political stories that, we just feel like we should because it was in the news like this. People can hear, they can tell that we don't want to be doing that. They can tell that's not who we are, is that thing. Even though we love politics, I love talking about it. It's very interesting. It engages me. That's not who we are. That's not what this show is supposed to be. That's not what this is about. And people can tell that. I don't think I have a ton more to say. We will be back. We will be making videos. We will be live streaming again as soon as so we can figure out what the hell is going on. I'm really struggling right now with this. I do not know what to do with myself. I do not know what is going on. And I haven't felt this lost in an extremely long time. Over 6 years. I have always, for the whole time we've been doing this show, I have felt a very solid sense of direction. That, I know what I'm doing. And even in the episode with Brian in the very beginning, I'm saying in there, my confidence is not unwavered. I have not lost faith in myself, and I still haven't. I know what I believe in. I know what I care about. I know what's important to me. I don't know what the fuck to do with that. I don't know what the fuck that means anymore. I don't know where the hell to go from there. And that's still where I'm at. I know what I believe. I know what's important to me. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I think part of the reason I grabbed onto the division thing when I'm writing about politics last week is because a lot of that is based on people not knowing what we're doing. This country doesn't know what we're doing. We don't know what direction we want to go in. So we're consistently, even on the show, going back and forth that we need a revolution or an evolution. Revolution. I don't fucking know, man. I can't tell anybody what to do. I don't feel qualified for that. I don't. What else am I doing? Why else am I doing this show? If I don't feel some sense of responsibility or entitlement to do just that I feel justified in telling you X, Y, or Z and informing you of this thing. And the only reason of why not is like credentialism. It's nonsense. It's bullshit that we fight against on the show anyway. I think I will begin to conclude by saying this. I'm not the only one feeling this way. I don't mean on the show. I mean in general. Just last week I was at Brian's house for a housewarming party. Most of the Amble men was there, and three separate discussions on the same day I had that all had the core of them of, I know that I love what I'm doing. I just don't know if I love where I'm doing it or how I'm doing it or who I'm doing it for. This is, I'm sure Jordan has some star thing. The eclipses last week. There's a retrograde. There's this. There's that. There's whatever. I don't know. So maybe when you watch this, let us know in the comments what the star thing is for the week of the 16th. Last week when we were at Brian's, but there's something going around that is making people feel this way. So it's not just me. And that means something to me too. But I don't really know what yet. So we'll be back. We'll be making more videos. I will be here. Colin is here. We're going to keep putting out SOS ideas. We're going to keep recording SOS IDs, even if we're not doing live streams. We will be back doing live streams. We'll be back in the studio. We'll be back doing the show. It's just going to be different. So you may see some shorter shows for a while, some very, very different shows for a while, some more conversational shows. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but we're going to figure it out. And I'm hoping that you guys will stick with me and we can figure it out together. Because I know that we all feel what's going on here. I know that we all feel something in this, and that's why we continue to show up for each other. That's why we continue to make this community, and that's why we're doing this. That's why Colin and I are doing this. So I think I'll end this here, and I'll have more videos for you guys later. Some more updates, some more things like that. So obviously tell everyone you can about this show, about this channel, about what it is that we're doing here, because we're doing it for you guys while also doing it for ourselves. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. My name is Donovan, and I love you guys. I'll see you very, very soon.
All my life, I gave up the goal.